Consent, right?
Certainly.
Well, we're back. It's been quite a while. Been about a month now. We've been going our separate ways, but gotta hop right into it. Got some big tickets. Got big slate of basketball and baseball on deck as well. Hockey, your specialty, is finishing up. I know New York is dying down from the Knicks and the Rangers frenzy, but I know it was fun up there for a while.
It was real hectic.
You even got to go courtside, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I was at a lot of games. Spent a lot of money, man. I had a good time.
Didn't you get free tickets one time? Or
I did. I got free tickets to one of the Knicks games.
Yeah,
which is unbelievable.
Keep greasing those wheels and get some free tickets next year.
Always just got to smile, be cute, see what you can do.
Yeah, next year you should wear like a banana costume or something in the front row, get famous, and then you'd be invited back as like that famous Knicks fan.
Yeah, I'm sure that's where my path is.
You can be the guy behind the free throw line going crazy, and then so suddenly ESPN's trying to find you and get your cell phone number, and suddenly you're on First Take and talking to Stephen A. about your fanhood.
Hey man, Stephen A's from my neighborhood.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's from Hollis, Queens. Where it's like not like one of the better parts, but it's not one of the worst parts, but it's like real like small so everyone knows each other. And yeah, he like grew up with my uncles and stuff.
That's pretty cool. Does he still live there, or does he live somewhere else?
That's definitely a place you move out of.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good for him. Good for him. I have some friends in the Bronx that have similar situation. They enjoyed their time growing up in the Bronx, and they've started making money, and they've moved out.
Hey man, that's like what you got. You got to do what you got to do. Everyone got to take care of yourself, man.
All right. Well, we got a pretty big weekend on deck. We got NCAA baseball. We got the Super Regionals. We got the London Series and MLB. We of course we have 12, 15 MLB games like usual. Finalizing the NBA Finals, as well as NHL. I know you're a big Oilers fan. Or at least
I forgot I got that. Yeah, I forgot. I totally forget I have futures sometimes. But yeah, that was my pre-pick in September. I forgot I had that ticket plus 1,000.
I've seen you on our Twitter handle trolling people about the Oilers.
Hey man, Canada's team, everybody's team. And I like the Oilers. I like the Panthers too, dude. Like these are two of my favorite teams in the league. So it'll be. I'm glad they both
made it to the finals or the Stanley Cup Finals. You don't want to see some fluke team get in there. You want to see the best teams play each other. So
yeah.
You want me to give you opportunity to share your screen, or do you want me to start? Or
why don't you start up? I have a couple things I'm still setting up right here.
Okay. Let's do. Okay. Let's do this first. Did that come across?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is Ballpark Pal. I've talked a little bit about this before on here, but this is a 3 or 4 year developed site algorithm. They do a bunch of stuff around pitchers. I can show that here. They do game sims, park factors, pitchers, and matchups. But, I mean, the big, I guess, promo today is the London series. London Stadium up here. The ball flies extremely well in that park. It's also a shorter stadium. And the pitchers today are going to be Ranger Suarez and Sean Manaea, both of which give up their fair share of fly balls. So this could be quite a high-scoring game. Let's check what the over-under's at. Looks like that is so the over-under is 9.5. Kind of surprising. Ranger Suarez is having a career season, 9-1. So, I mean, I guess they're thinking that he comes out, he has a 1.7 ERA. But, I would, off the rip, question that line. Both the Mets, I mean, the only way this goes under is if Ranger Suarez just dominates and the Mets come out, like the Mets sometimes come out and they just like K, single, strikeout. And they'll get some guys on base, but they won't get the big hit in the right situation. But, they got Pete Alonso, Starling Marte starting to pick it up. Francisco Lindor needs to pick it up or else he won't get his contract renewed. So I think this is a great spot. 9.5 is what you see, for the Rocky Stadium or, bad pitching matchups in American stadiums. So I think this could be, 8-8, 9-8, 10-7 game. So I think, 9.5 is pretty low. I mean, the wind is also blowing out as well. So that's the first game of the day. It starts at 12:10. He'll be on every major news network, Fox, CBS, ESPN. So I'll be watching that for sure. A couple other, the stadiums, the ball always flies in Cincinnati. It just always happens. They got Ben Brown versus Andrew Abbott today, and it's kind of a pick 'em. The Cubs really, they've been kind of struggling as of late. They've been kind of boomer bust. A couple of their big guys, Bellinger and Swanson, really haven't performed the way that the ownership thought they were going to perform. But when they string it together, they're a dangerous team. I mean, they can easily score 0, 3 Ks in an inning, but they can easily score 5, 6, 7 in an inning. So with the wind blowing out, with the home runs like that, the temperature and the air pressure as it shows on here like that. I mean, I think it's also going to be pretty high scoring. This one, the Kauffman Stadium, this game yesterday was 10-9. Mariners were up 7-0 in the first. They just gradually gave the lead back, and they ended up blowing it with 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth. But games that go way over like that, statistically, historically, are going to go under the next day. Sort of just like a reversion to the mean type of philosophy. And so even though you see Kauffman Stadium here more on doubles and singles and the runs are +7, that's I wouldn't just slam the over here, especially they got Alec Marsh and Luis Castillo as the starters. Those guys are very capable. Good pitch mixes. They have good historical numbers against each team. Alec Marsh against the Mariners, Luis Castillo against the Royals. But the bullpens have been a little taxed. So, I mean, I think if you're looking at the under here, I would say the first half under 5.5 would be, a really good play to look at. Now, on the other side of this, Petco Park down here, Arizona and the Padres. You would think, hey, it's not going to score much. Everything's negative. Even for the Miami game and the Rays game and the Rangers game. But Arizona and San Diego in particular, they have Ryan Nelson versus Matt Waldron. 2 pitchers who can get lit up very easily. So a couple of these are a little bit misleading, especially with the over under in San Diego today is 7.5.
San Diego get that themselves. Haven't they been like on a tear?
Yeah, they have, and I haven't committed any picks yet today, so kind of early. I want to see lineups. They only have one crew out today so far for the umpires, but that's a really good candidate for the over. That's also a late game, so lineups, umpires probably won't come out till 4 or 5 Eastern, 3 or 4 Central. So you got several hours to kind of look over that game and decide what you want to do. But Arizona or the Padres can score 6, 7 runs on their own. So Matt Waldron's gotten beat up by bad teams. He's performed well against good teams. So it's sort of a paradox there. And Ryan Nelson, if he actually throws well, locates his pitches, and is actually a pitcher instead of a thrower, he has success. But he'll get into first and second or first and third under 2 outs, and he'll try to blow fastballs by people. And in the majors, like, you can't just blow 96 by somebody. It might work a batter or two, but they adjust quick. And he gets hit sometimes. He'll just try to overpower people, and then hitters are like, well, we're just gonna sit fastball, hit a barrel here or two, and a couple barrels here and there. Odds are a couple start to fall. So that would be something to look out for there. The middle ones, I'm not a big home run guy, so I don't really love giving out home run picks. But going through here a little bit, I mean, you can see here they're at the Ballpark Pal algorithm has them right at 9.5, but the umpire is Mike Malinsky. Let me switch screens to the umpire screen here. Yeah, there's only one out right now, but Mike Malinsky, he's done 405 games, which is almost tops within the umpire association. So these numbers mean a lot. It's not like he's done under 50 games. You can tell the K boost, the walk boost, and the run boost are down, but batting average, slugging are about normal. So this is not a pitcher-friendly guy. If anything, he leans toward the hitters. And the corners, he's not known as a corners guy. So 1-2, 2-2, 3-2 pitches dotted on the black, up or down, more than likely are not going to be called balls. So if the hitters show up, I think they could be getting 6, 7 runs in the first 5 innings, and knock Sean Manaea out pretty early. Ranger Suarez has done well, but he his home Citizens Bank and with the Phillies is a pitcher friendly park. It's deep to center, deep to left center. I mean, it's like 410 to left center. So he's got a little bit lucky there. He will not have this in London. A lot of those balls to the track in Philly, or 10 to 15 yards from the track in Philly, will be 10 to 15 feet, if not more, over the fence in London. So it's definitely something to think about. And I just checked the first half over under is 4.5. So I'm looking at the over there pretty solidly. Let's switch back to.
Do you think starters and bullpen both getting lit up?
Yeah, I definitely think the Phillies win this game. They should win this game, as long as the hitters show up. My only concern is when the Mets do play well, they're a dangerous team. It's just they only play well so far this season, like 10 to 20% of the time offensively. But I mean, if Francisco Starling get on base, Pete Alonso hits the extra base hit, a homer here and there, they can easily get 4 or 5 runs. And I have very little doubt that the Phillies are going to. I think the Phillies are going to show up. I've watched the interviews. They're loose. They're making jokes. Nick Castellanos is talking about how the London kids look like they're from Hogwarts. The energy's high. So I have little doubt that they're going to show up loose, ready to go. They're going to take hacks, and the ball's going to fly. It's not as bad as Mexico City. Those games where it's like 14-12. But it will be high scoring. A couple of these other games. Here, Carmen, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. He's a minor leaguer, just pulled up. I mean, he does have good stats in the minors, but Woods Richardson for the Twins has been phenomenal so far. There was not a lot of high hopes. He didn't, come with a lot of fanfare, but he's come in, made good pitches. He's pitching well in the sense where he's filling batters out. He's making the right pitches and the right counts, and he's not going to overpower you. He doesn't have high 90s, but he has good movement, and he's pitching well. I would say he's a little bit. He's not Greg Maddux. He's not going to be dotting the entire game, but he has found success. Pitching backwards on the corners. He leads with a lot of balls, so Pittsburgh is prone to chasing outside the zone. So when you lead with, throwing curveballs, changeups, sinkers that start in the zone and go out of the zone and try to tempt hitters into swinging outside the zone, that plays really well into the weaknesses for the Pittsburgh lineup. So I think that's why you see, the Twins, projected to win here. The main issue is the Twins' offense can sometimes just disappear. However, I find that hard to believe that they're going to let, a AA, AAA guy come up and just dominate them. I mean, these are still major league hitters. If anything, they're going to come out and be aggressive. So I would have to lean the Twins here. So here is an interesting one. I'm a Braves fan, candidly. I don't like betting on Braves games because I let my bias get in the way. However, I'm a huge Mackenzie Gore fan. This is a left-hander, big guy, weird arm slot, mid to high 90s, good pitches. So let me pull up his Savant page as well. Where's he at? Gore. He is much better than Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton's just your standard vet. He knows how to pitch, but it's low 90s. Everyone knows what his slider looks like. Everyone knows what his off-speed changeup looks like. He doesn't have any new pitches. And looking at this, I would say that they're betting on the Braves lineup to come out and protect Charlie Morton. And candidly, the Braves lineup is better than the Nats. But the injury concerns with the Braves, Austin Riley's still not at 100%. Michael Harris still hasn't really, come into his own. He just signed that $80 million deal. And he hasn't really he's played okay, but he hasn't played like an $80 million player. So they're kind of relying on somebody to get on and Matt Olson to come through and, clear the bases or hit a home run, some sort of extra base hit opportunity. But Mackenzie Gore is a lefty. He dominates lefties. Matt Olson is a lefty. Michael Harris is a lefty. So I'm not really I'm kind of confused here why that they're so favorite here in the algorithm. Let me show the Savant page for him. So yeah, you can see here. I mean, great fastball. 97 over here. His slider's good. The main issue he gets into, as you can see down here, the ground ball percentage. He gets a lot of fly balls, so that can present problems. But I mean, all his advanced metrics down here are pretty good. And I mean, they're also gonna pull up his splits against lefties. So I personally think this is a great dog opportunity. Also love. I really like the Nationals lineup. CJ Abrams is a great player. Jesse Winker is a great player. They have a couple minor leaguers that have come up, and it's a low pressure environment in Washington. They're not competing for a title. They're out there playing, having fun. And they're not scared of the Braves. I mean, they've beat the Braves 4 or 5 times already this year. Close games. They've blown the Braves out. So like the days of old where the Braves would come in and just dominate the Marlins, dominate the Nationals, somewhat dominate the Mets. Sorry, Rob. Those days are not here right now. They have starters out.
Yeah, they're hurting bad.
So their playoff odds, the Braves' playoff odds have gone down actually. To miss the playoffs, they were plus 1,500 a week or two ago. Now they're down to plus 900. If the National League was a lot stronger, I would have already put, $100, $200 on that because I think that's super valuable. That number is way higher than it should be. But the National League is kind of weak this year. And so
many teams are making it also now. Just different from the past.
Yeah, and there's the 3 teams now. They're not going to catch the Phillies, unlikely, unless the Phillies just completely dissolve. But there's still 5.5 games up in the wild card.
Yeah.
And the next big teams are the Padres, the Giants, the Reds, and the Cubs. The issue there is the Padres and Giants, they face the Dodgers and they face each other. They're going to have to overtake the Braves. They're going to have to beat the Dodgers and then suddenly just trade games with each other, both of which are unlikely. And the Braves also have the Marlins and they have the Mets, both of which will be fire selling at the deadline. And their talent will get worse. And so those are sort of freebie games as the season progresses. And so the Braves' schedule has a little bit more runway in that regard. And then I'll show you the wild card standings here.
Hey, man, I still see the Braves winning the World Series this year because that's just how it happens.
Not a shot. But then like the Reds and Cubs, like it's the same issue there. They play each other like 12 more times. So winning back and forth doesn't really help much because they're taking games from each other. And so that's sort of the issue there. The Reds, Cubs, and Cardinals, actually, they play each other like 30 more times combined between the 3 of them. So they'll just be trading games back and forth. And so, yeah, the Rockies, Marlins, Mets, Nats, and D-backs are kind of already out.
Hey, Mets only 3 games out.
Yeah.
That's they sell it up here on the media.
Just those teams have had just injuries or underperformance. I mean, the D-backs in particular. I mean, they put a lot of money into Corbin Carroll. Supposed to be like the next stud, like power hitter, fast. But last year he hurt his shoulder. Had to have surgery, like a little procedure in the off season to clean up some cartilage. And suddenly his swing's different, and he's hitting like 190. And so they've had just unfortunate things happen there. But that's all to say that I like the Nats today over the Braves.
So that could be a candidate for that early win that I see is back for me now.
Yes, very good candidate for early win. I really like Gore to hold the Braves early. And thing with the Nats is CJ Abrams. He loves hitting leadoff home runs, first pitch fastball. He loves it. He'll swing out of his shoes. And then all you need after that is, one or two hits from Nick's Joey Gallo or Jesse Winker. And all these guys, the Nats lineup is full of lefties. Charlie Morton's righty. The Nats hit righties better. Charlie Morton performs worse against lefties. So, and there's a lot of stats there that really are favoring the Nats. I think a lot of the models, and especially the advanced, sportsbook models, how they base their lines on, they're basing it off the Braves, full strength, and the Braves just aren't full strength. So I think it's just one of those classic situations where someone knows the game, can see there's weakness and assumptions in the model and the assumptions for how the Braves are going to perform today. Here, wait, did the Giants not have a starter out yet? And check ESPN to see if they have a starter out. This was Blake Snell's day, but yeah, they still don't have anybody yet. So it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm not a huge Andrew Heaney fan. He can get lit up really easily if his off speed is not. He really relies on his off speed starting the zone and sinking below the zone, getting swings, weak contact, ground balls to the right side, to the left side, third base, shortstop. And if he leaves, it's happened 4 or 5 times this year during the starts where he'll throw the off speed, and instead of going below the zone, it just sits middle zone right at the knees. And, low 80s in the zone, hitter and major league hitters smoke that. Doesn't matter if you play for the A's or the Nats or the Yankees, they're going to hit that. So, the side here is pretty tough, but I would actually lean towards the over because the Giants are probably going to throw an opener or a minor leaguer. And I know the perception is for the Rangers the last couple of weeks is they have not performed well offensively, but the Rangers are stacked. They cannot play well, of course, that happens, but the lineup is stacked. And especially if the Giants throw somebody that, is a minor leaguer essentially or an opener, they're going to find success. So the over could be a good play there. Here, man, the Blue Jays are like the Padres to me. Super talented, but completely inconsistent. Like last night, they lost on a walk-off home run to the A's, and they had chances all game long. They had runners on all game long, but they just couldn't get any big hits. They were missing the low 90s fastball. And it's like similar to Machado and Tatis and Profar for the Padres. They have these really talented guys. They have Bo Bichette, Vlad Jr., George Springer. And some games that come out and they're smoking the ball. And you're like, wow, this is a playoff team. They're going to cause, commotion in the AL East. Other games that come out, they can't hit the side of a barn. They can't hit a minor leaguer. So it's tough for someone like me or you to come in and cap these games because Luis Medina has the stuff to easily shut down the Blue Jays. So, I'm probably not going to – that's why the over-under is 7.5 because there's no confidence in the Blue Jays lineup. There's also no confidence in the A's lineup.
Yeah, true.
But,
I feel like this Blue Jays team been like the same team for like 3 years now, like with the way they play, and they're just not making any changes.
Yeah, they DFA'd Kevin Biggio, Craig Biggio's son, yesterday, and so they're trying to switch it up. But I think the biggest issue this so far is Kirk, the catcher, Alexander Kirk.
Yeah,
Last year he was incredible. Um,
he was
a
an
big
all-star
catcher,
last year, wasn't he?
yeah, a big catcher metric is like framing. So last year he was great framing, pulling pitches back close to the zone, but not in the zone, and pulling them into the zone, getting the strike call from the umpire. This year he has not been as good. And then hitting, he's just been atrocious. I don't know what happened, if something mental happened or they figured him out, but he has been bad. And so I would lean the under here, but the
Really?
the
At that
caveat
number?
is the Blue Jays could blow this out.
Wow.
It's either going to be a close A's win or a Blue Jays blowout. For some reason, the Blue Jays just don't win close games. I don't know. I haven't figured out why that is, but it's just the case. And you saw it last night again. This game is kind of whatever to me. Two slumping teams. Not a huge fan of either starter. Both have shown flashes. Both have gotten blown up. I will say Kyle Bradish has performed better as of late. I guess if anything, I would lean towards the over here, but it gives me pause because the Orioles have slumped a little bit offensively as of late. So I don't really have much opinion here, honestly. And we'll go through the Nerfies in a second. Here, actually, I like the Royals. The Mariners. I mean, we talked about it earlier. The Mariners scored 7 runs in the top of the first yesterday. They're up 7-0, and they blew the game. Defensively, pitching, they just blew it. They lost 10-9. So the Royals will be coming in off the emotional high. The Mariners will be very angry, but the Mariners don't hit lefties well, and their offense is boomer bust. They scored 2 runs, kind of fluke runs in 8 innings yesterday after the first. And I have a feeling that, Alec Marsh is going to come in and shut them down today. The good news is that the Royals offense is just consistent. So they're not boomer bust. They're going to put good swings on the ball every inning. And so I think the runs here, the projected amount of runs here for the Mariners is a little high. So especially if you can get plus money right now for the Royals, I'd say jump on that because I have a feeling it's going to go down throughout the day. Probably get to the minus 105, minus 110 range, if I had to guess. Here, off the top of my head, I would immediately say Brewers, but the Brewers won 10-0 yesterday. So it gives me pause, primarily because in the MLB, teams don't really blow each other out 2 games in a row. You can say reversion to the mean. You can say, they're just MLB players, but I would say this is going to be a close game. I don't have a lot of liking for Casey Mize. He's a former first overall pick from Auburn. He's in the majors, obviously, so he has reached the majors, but he's not performing like a number 1 pick. His stuff's a little down. Freddie Peralta is just better than he is. And the Tigers have DFA'd some hitters recently. But if you lose 10-0, odds are you're going to come out with a little fire under you. I mean, kind of disrespectful how you lost yesterday. So, I mean, I still lean Brewers here, especially if it's pick 'em money right now, like -113, -110. But I just say be cautious because coming back from blowouts, the other team usually puts up a good fight, and these teams are pretty similar offensively. It's not that different, but Freddie Peralta is just better than Casey Mize. Scroll down here. Oh, this is the game. I would say this is an over game. The wind's blowing out. Both these teams can hit. Um, the one scenario where I see this going under is Andrew Abbott's slider is working well today. The Cubs do have chase potential against sliders down and in. And Ben Brown throws hard. I mean, he is 96, 98, 99. He can touch 100. So, I mean, if the Reds don't show up and they don't take him seriously, which other teams have, he will make them look foolish. However, if the Reds show up and they're ready to hit the fastball, Ben Brown gets torched. So I think we'll see pretty early, the first inning or two. I will say if you're watching the game and they're hitting the ball hard, but they're just hitting them at people in the first 2 innings, and that run line, the total runs goes down from 9.5 to 7.5 or 8, I would say jump on the over, because those hits will be falling at some point in the game. Now, if they look terrible at the plate and they're missing the fastball and they're late and the Cubs are chasing Abbott's off speed, do not take the over, because that just tells you that for whatever reason they didn't show up today, mentally they're not there, or there's something in the windup that's messing them up. But on a normal day, this is going to be a 7-5, 8-4, 9-6 game. There'll be runs scored. Neither of these pitchers are good enough to hold these offensive down on a normal day. I mean, these lines are atrocious. I wouldn't really touch you. -205 is crazy for the Red Sox.
And the White Sox got their win.
They did get their win yesterday. So also the thing is the White Sox have lost prior to yesterday. They lost 14 or 15 or 16 games in a row. No matter how bad you are at performing as an MLB team, that's just not sustainable. It's going to boomerang back. The Marlins lost. I think the Marlins started 9-30 this year, and then after that, they're 500. They're like 12-10 the last 22 games. So teams just can't be held down that long. The game's too volatile for a team to lose that many times in a row. And Nick Nastrini is good enough to beat the Red Sox. But I probably wouldn't place money on this. But it would be interesting for the DK up to early win bonus. Bello has regressed this year. And, if the White Sox come out, Tommy Pham gets on, Gavin Sheets hits a double, they can easily put up 2 or 3 in the first or second inning. So that would be interesting to me. What gives me pause on the full game, or if you're not using the boost, is the White Sox bullpen. Man, it just makes me sad. They're just not good. They would have won 7 or 8, maybe 10 more games this year if their bullpen was halfway decent. I mean, they blew 3 games in a row. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they were up by 3 or 4 runs going into the 6th inning, 7th inning. And, walk, hit by pitch, air, double. Suddenly it's tied, especially in the Cubs game. I mean, they gave up 2 walk-offs after being up by 3 or 4 through halfway through the game. So if anything, I would look first half or have the DK up to early bonus. But I would not take the Red Sox -200. I mean, that's negative value in my opinion.
Has to be.
Here, I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what this looks like. The Rockies can hit. Ryan Feltner is better on the road. The way he pitches is not good for his home stadium. He'll get fly balls, and those fly in Colorado at Coors. They don't fly as much in St. Louis. And Kyle Gibson is one of those pitchers that's a veteran. He's slow, but he's a pitcher, so he'll locate, but he's not going to blow anybody away. The Rockies are not going to strike out. So they're going to be putting balls in play. They're going to put good swings on the ball. They almost won last night without their bullpen, imploding in the 8th inning. So I mean, I don't really understand this much because I put Ryan Feltner and Kyle Gibson on the same level as a pitcher, and the Rockies' offense is good. They've lost a lot of games this year because their pen can't hold anybody down, especially at home. But I could easily see them scoring quite a bit on Kyle Gibson. And so I guess this is another good opportunity for the DK up too early win bonus, because I could see them scoring a couple in the top of the first, and you get your win in like 10 minutes in the first inning. So I would look there as well. Kyle Gibson is just not. Let me pull up his Savant profile. He's just not that good.
Isn't he one of those guys you can run on also?
Yeah. I mean, look at this. Look at this Savant page. I mean, goodness. I mean, that's just sad. I mean, you can see, yeah, he has 6 pitches, but he tops out at 91. I mean, tops out at 91. And he relies on weak contact. I mean, he's not going to strike anybody out. He has the god tier pitch mix. He has the sinker, he has the cutter, changeup, sweeper, curveball. So that's why he's lasted this long. He's almost like 40, or 36. That's why he's been in the league so long, because he gets weak contact. But he's getting hit more this year. You can tell everything's under 50%. The only reason he's been successful is he's getting weak contact on the ground. And you can see that he's 81st percentile on ground ball percentage. But that's just – where's my coffee? You can't just rely on that. You're sort of leaving – it's like the anti-Paul Skeens. You're leaving the outcome up to your defense and hitters not hitting the ball well. And unfortunately, the Rockies, they have lefties that are performing well right now. Ryan McMahon has killed Kyle Gibson in the past. And if you see Kyle Gibson down here, his expected ERA is almost 5. It's 1.4 runs, over more than his actual ERA. So I mean, he's been lucky, and so it's eventually he will reverse to the mean. I think today would be a good opportunity for that. Rockies have a bunch of lefties, doesn't do well against lefties, so I think this is another one of those lines where Vegas is like, too many games. We'll just put something up from what our models say, but underlying metrics tell me that Rockies are going to come out and do some damage. The issue is Ryan Feltner can also give up runs, but he's a lot better on the road, and the Cardinals amazingly have more swing and miss in their lineup than the Rockies do. We'll pull up his Savant just so you can see that. I mean, look down here. He has a 6.22 ERA. And you're looking at that and you're like, wow, that's horrible, right? But I mean, his expected ERA is a 4. So I mean, he's got unlucky because he pitches at Coors, and hits at the Cardinal Stadium are like doubles, triples, home runs in Colorado. Those same hits in St. Louis are going to be caught, maybe a single, maybe a double, but it's going to be much more minimized and limited. And not great here, obviously not great, but you can see he doesn't walk anybody. He doesn't walk a lot of people. And he throws harder. 95. He has a sinker. This is a pitcher that would be top half of the league if he did not pitch in Colorado. He's just on a bad team for how he pitches. It's just a bad fit. Kind of shocked he hasn't gotten traded or he hasn't asked for a trade, but that's just because I just think the Rockies are gonna come out and play well today. Let's go back here. Yeah, I'm a big Yankees fan today. The Dodgers, for some reason, they don't play well on the road so far this year, and Gavin Stone in particular. I don't know what they have invested in him. If it's time, it's not that much money, so it can't be money. But he's performed poorly for 3 years now. He'll throw well for 4 innings. The 5th inning, he'll hit a batter, single, walk, double, single, and he'll go 4 innings, and then suddenly there's 3 or 4 runs. And then it happens randomly. It could be the 1st inning, it could be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's just random. There would be 1 or 2 innings he gets blown up. And it's just that Nestor's just a better pitcher. I would say the Yankees are going to have some home runs today. Even though I'm not a home run guy, I would look maybe Trevino. I mean, Soto's probably going to be pretty low. Probably wouldn't touch Judge because I saw his.
I think Soto's out, isn't he?
Is he out? I thought I saw his UCL thing came back clean.
It said he probably will avoid the DL or the IL, but I don't think he's going to play for a few days, at least.
Okay. Let's see what they have. They probably don't have the lineups up yet. Let's see. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, it says Soto's day to day.
I don't know if that's better or worse for Judge.
Definitely worse. Less protection in the lineup. I just yesterday was 2-1. It was just offensive futility across the board. So I would say one of these teams is going to explode today. It's good weather as well. So I would definitely
Ohtani hits well there, or he has for sure. Every game I went to go see Ohtani there, I think he's hit a home run, and that's not hyperbole.
Not yesterday.
Oh, I didn't go yesterday.
Well, I don't. If you bet on the Yankees, don't go today then.
Yeah.
I think there's value on the Yankees though. Nestor's just better than Gavin. Yankees also have the better bullpen. Obviously the lineup for the Dodgers is good, but Nestor's a lefty. He performs better against lefties. Who do the Dodgers have in the lineup that are lefties? They have Freddie. They have Ohtani. If Gavin Lux is playing, they have Gavin Lux. I would be concerned about Mookie versus Nestor. Mookie has hit Nestor pretty well in the past, but I can't imagine either team comes out flat. This is the Yankees-Dodgers at Yankee Stadium at night on a Saturday. I mean, both teams are going to be ready to go, fully locked in. I'd be shocked if either team comes out flat. And with both teams fully locked in, ready to go, I give the edge to the Yankees. Absolutely.
What did you think about those hats they had come out? You see those?
The teal ones?
No, the
Or
Ohtani Judge hats.
I don't think
At Yankee Stadium, they're selling on the same hat. It's like 17 Ohtani on one half of the hat, and then 99 Judge on the other half. Like they just made a hat for this series.
oh wow, I'm looking at those. Let me share this. I don't think I like those.
So I saw it and I was like, is that a real thing? Like, no, that's very real, like in the team store.
I don't know. I don't think I like those.
I don't understand it.
That just looks like to me capitalism trying to make money.
That's all, right? It's just like a money grab.
Yeah. I can't imagine people are gonna actually wear those out in public.
I think it's probably for tourists or whoever is not a fan necessarily going to the game.
Yeah.
But that really caught my attention. I'm like, well, what are we doing?
Those just look gaudy.
And it's weird because you'd think like the Yankees don't do stuff like that,
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I guess I see the appeal. Judge Ohtani, both generational players, but
sure, yeah.
I feel like they could have executed better or made a better design or something. That just looks
It looks like they're both on the Yankees.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found it interesting, and I just was curious of your opinion of it.
Maybe they're trying to get like the Japanese tourists, the like love Ohtani to buy them.
Yeah.
I just see if anyone is wearing that walking down, Times Square, the Bronx, or LA, they're gonna get ridiculed. That's what.
I hope next time I go out there and I'm in one of those Yankee bars, I pray to God to see a Yankee fan wearing that. I will rip them.
I mean, I could just not. I mean, maybe I don't understand the appeal. Like that could be it. I got to get that off my. That's gross.
Yeah, and it was at this. It's not like a special order. It's like they made it, and they're selling it at the stadium. But anyway, not that important. Just anecdote.
Hey, let me know if you get one, or if you.
I will not.
If you ridicule somebody with one.
Far more likely.
Yeah, you gotta set them straight. Let's see. Here, I like the Marlins here. Candidly, I have a futures out for the Marlins to have the worst record this year. It's not looking as good as of late. They're the ninth inning cardiac kids. They've won 5 or 6 games this year, scoring 3+ runs in the ninth inning. And here, Roddery is steps, levels above Ben Lively. I'm also not a huge fan of the Guardians' offense at the moment. They're not playing cohesively as a team. A lot of solo home run ball. Tyler Freeman, I guess, has done well. He's come out of the grave essentially for his career, turned it around. But I really think the Marlins are gonna, at least Roddery's gonna shut them down. I think the biggest concern or question for me today for this game is if the Marlins offense will show up. They'll get opportunities. Ben Lively will give them good pitches to hit. The question is, will they hit them? Roddery will not give the Guardians many good pitches to hit. The only hitter I'm really concerned about for the Guardians is Jose Ramirez. He's an excellent hitter to all fields. He's also a switch hitter, and it doesn't matter if it's a good pitch, if it's low and away, high and in, above the zone, below the zone. He barrels the ball more often than not. So he's the only really concern there. But I think more likely than not, there'll be an inning when Ben Lively implodes. There's going to be a hit by pitch. There's going to be a walk. He's going to give up a hard single or a bloop, score one, or the bases will be loaded. And he also, this year, has not done well under pressure. Runners on base, he has all his stats have ballooned. So if the Marlins can get a couple, two, it'd be awesome. The bases were loaded. But if there's at least 2 runners on base, and you're live betting, I would hit the Marlins because odds are he's going to give up a hit, and that inning's going to spiral pretty quick. Yeah, we talked here. I would say this goes over. I don't like either of these pitchers at all, honestly. The
Seven and a
issue
half in a night game.
the issue is both offenses can be equally as bad.
Yeah.
I'm a Padres hater. If there's 1,000, I'm a hater. If there's one hater in the world, I'm a Padres hater. Their offense is just, for the amount of money they put in this offense, it is the worst in the league. Absolute worst. There's no cohesiveness. They'll be swinging at 3-0 pitches that are on the corner instead of taking it. Manny Machado is the king of coming up with runners on base, swinging first pitch and grinding into a double play. There's just so many issues where another team would be taking pitches, putting together good ABs, working together as a team. The Padres feel very solo. I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to be the hero. Let's play hero ball. And more often than not, that doesn't work in the majors. So that's why you will see games the Padres scored 9, 10, 11, 12 runs a game. That's when all the cylinders are cycling. They're hitting 4 or 5 home runs a game. But then you'll see other games, they're suddenly 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position. They leave 11, 12, 13 hitters, on base. And you're like, what's going on? And you go in and you look at the game. They got runners second and third, under 1 out. They swing at a bad pitch. They watch a good pitch, and they K on another bad pitch. And all you got to do in that situation is hit a ground ball to the second base, hit a fly ball. But there's just something that's not clicking with that team offensively. Both of these pitchers, so I just don't have a lot of good feelings for. If anything, I'd pick the over. The side for this game is going to be, who knows, honestly. Whichever offense puts together more consistent ABs. Here, oh man, another guy I'm a hater for, Hunter Brown. We were joking when he faced the Royals earlier this year. He had the worst stat line ever in the history of the game. 2/3 of an inning, 12 hits, 11 runs. I mean, he was tipping pitches. He still is tipping pitches. He's still getting hit hard. His one good start this year was against the Mariners, which I know we have a couple Mariners fans in Discord, but the Mariners offense is prone to striking out. He does throw hard. So, like, if the Angels don't show up, they can get blown away. But seemingly every team in the league can hit off Hunter Brown. And so I would, Tyler Anderson, isn't a Cy Young Award winner, but he can easily shut down the Astros lineup. And let me pull up. Let's see. Where's his stat line at? Yeah. The his all his advanced metrics are way better than Hunter Brown. He has a 2.37 ERA. His expected ERA is even lower. The Astros struggle against left-handed pitchers. Obviously, the talent-wise, you're thinking, hey, the Astros are going to come out. They got Altuve, Bregman. Kyle Tucker got hurt, but Yordan Alvarez, a bunch of guys that can come out and hit. But lefty on lefty, Tyler Anderson will more often than not shut them down. And then you're thinking about, well, Hunter Brown comes up, he's tipping pitches. The Angels are playing loose. They have nothing to play for. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're playing young guys. They want to see development. They're taking hacks. You saw that in their series against the Yankees. In pressure pack situations, they're loose. They're hitting their pitches. And they can hit off anybody. And so I think
the Astros probably feel the opposite, huh? The Astros feel like pressure to climb out of the basement.
They're trying to. I mean, they've won the division the last couple of years. They've been to the World Series a lot. Suddenly, they've not playing well. The pressure's on. They have a new coach and they have a new GM. They want to play well for them. So, this is another good opportunity, in my opinion, for the DK boost. We've seen it 5 or 6 times this year. Hunter Brown comes out and gives 3+ runs up in the first inning. And it's happened over and over and over and over and over again. So, so I would lean Angels here for sure.
It's scary to bet on the Angels. Ever.
It is. It is scary to bet on the Angels. It's not for the faint of heart. It's also scary to bet on the White Sox.
Yeah, true.
But if you've used the DK boost on the White Sox the last week or so, you've won 5 out of the 7 games. It's just if you don't use the boost, their bullpen has blown that game, and they end up losing it. But they've been up early quite a bit recently. Then let's look at the Nerfies here. Everyone loves the Nerfies. Switch that here to props. Yeah, so you can see the first game. I wouldn't do the Nerfie in the London series. One swing is too easy. Even though they have good records, I just wouldn't do that. I do love, especially Fanatics and DK. You can't do this on FanDuel, but a couple of sports books have the half Nerfies where you can say this team won't score in the first inning instead of the entire inning. So I do love Pittsburgh not to score in the first inning here. Simeone has great numbers first and even the second time through the order. So if you want to do second inning not to score or third inning not to score, all those are going to be most likely to hit. You can pair that with the Braves not to score in the first inning. Talked earlier, I love Mackenzie Gore. He's great form right now, great stuff. The Braves are not playing well either. Interesting for the Blue Jays Athletics is a good pick for the full Nerfie. The Blue Jays haven't scored in the first inning for I think 29 games in a row or something like that. I totally trust Kevin Gausman to shut down the A's lineup, so that's a good option. Let me pull up, see what the line is for that. If it's like minus 150, obviously I don't want to do that, but let's see. Blue Jays A's first inning. The Nerfie's sitting at minus 136. The one tie is sitting at minus 145. I'd say the minus 145 for the one ties, not bad. Maybe you want to pair that with something else. Maybe that with Pittsburgh not scoring the first inning, get it plus money. I think that's a great pick for the Nerfies. A couple other these games, definitely not that one. Not that one. I do like the Seattle KC. It's one of those thought processes. They scored a lot last night. Hitters were on fire. Odds are they're not going to be as on fire today. They got an early game. They were up late last night. Expended a lot of energy. And both these pitchers get easily capable of throwing a 0-0 game through 5 or 6 innings. It's just another good candidate there. Definitely not Colorado at St. Louis, unless you just want to tempt fate. That line is ridiculous, minus 150 for the Nerfy. Ridiculous. I guess the Yankees Dodgers is tempting. It does sort of make me nervous. Last night they couldn't score, so Saturday night in the Bronx, they're going to come out firing. But the top of the Yankees lineup without Soto, as you mentioned, full of righties. Gavin Stone is good enough to get the top of the lineup out the first time through. And Nestor's plenty good enough to get Ohtani and Freeman out, especially minus 113. Let's see what FanDuel has that at. If you could get that Nerfy at plus money, I think that would be a fantastic pick. The one ties at minus 120. The Nerfy's at minus 104. I think that's a great pick. Unless the umpire comes out and they're putting some super offensive heavy umpire behind the plate, I would definitely, especially Bryson or some other guys in the Discord, I think that'd be a great addition. But I don't really like the other ones. Not a huge fan of a lot of these. I could see Baltimore, Tampa Bay hitting, but not a huge fan.
Feels like more of a day of scoring today.
Yeah, it should be. It should be, definitely. There's good weather across the board. Wind is blowing out for almost all of the stadiums. Let's see. Pull back up the park factors. Just pull that
That's what's
up.
always more fun to bet on, anyways. All these overs.
Yeah, it's much more fun to root for the over than the under.
Yeah.
But the thing about baseball is it's a game of failure, so it's easier to cap for the failure.
Oh, for sure.
As opposed to football or basketball, where you're more likely to it's a game based on success. Baseball is a game based on failure, so it's a little bit different of a mindset. But I mean, you can tell like a lot of these. A lot of wind blowing out. So
Yeah, I think I'm definitely on that London over for sure.
I like that. See about any K's here. I don't love that. Kyle Gibson getting 6 Ks against that is insane to me.
They got him in there for over 6 innings.
There's no way. I refuse to believe he gets that.
So what's his out prop? It's got to be way too high.
I'm looking on props. Yeah, props has him at 4.8. Let me show the props. Yeah, props has him right here at 4.8. I would check the umpire before you just slam a bunch of money on that, but I do not see how he gets 6Ks unless the Rockies just come out and whiff. But he's not a strikeout pitcher. I mean, he pitches to contact. His whole game is pitching to weak contact and getting ground balls. Like,
Well, his line is 5.5 on DK.
what's the underline?
It's 5.5 minus 102 for the under. But his outs recorded is 18.5.
What's the under on that?
Minus 165.
Yeah, I do not see him going more than 6 innings. That might be a good parlay piece. I don't know if you want to lay like 165 solo, but if you want to do like a half Nerfy and his under outs, I bet that's a good 2-piece right there. I mean, I guess you could see they're carrying a lot to righties, but I mean, you look at this, and they're really not. I mean, they K'd a lot to Frankie Montas. Side story. In college, we faced Frankie Montas all the time when he was with the AA Barons. I have like 4 or 5 hits off Frankie Montas. So it's hilarious that they struck out 9 times against him. I mean, they don't really strike out much against. Let's see the outs. He's gone 18, 18, 18, 21 against Detroit, 18, 15, 18, 12, 18, 17. I guess maybe the books have some inside information about some weaknesses in the Rockies lineup today. Is the only,
or it could be the umpires.
Yeah, I don't know. Just something about that is really weird to me. I don't understand that. I mean, all these teams that he struck out of more than 5.5 times are slumping teams. The D-backs are slumping. The Tigers are slumping. The Brewers are slumping. Cincinnati was, when he struck out 6 against Cincinnati, that was during their 2-10 streak when they couldn't hit a baseball and then dropped their team average from like 270 to 220. And then Houston's struggling too. But the Rockies just aren't struggling right now. I mean, they're not world beaters, but they're not struggling. When he faces real teams, I mean, he has 2, 3, 4, 3, 3. I mean, I could see him ending up with 3 or 4 strikeouts, not 6.
Yes, everyone's expecting him to get 6. Apparently,
I just don't see that. All right. Anyway, it's quite a lot of baseball. Anything else that you think would be interesting, baseball wise?
for baseball, man, I'm looking forward to this London game and the night game with the Dodgers. Hope you're wrong, but you're probably not. I'm sure the Yankees are gonna really show up tonight.
Yeah, I'll be at a wedding, unfortunately, so I will not be watching. But I'll be checking my phone because Dodgers Yankees. I mean, that's like the top of the sport right there.
For sure.
Well, do you want to share anything about your recent golf wins or basketball, hockey, anything like that?
Yeah, actually, Do you have the Discord? Do you want to go through the wins
Yeah.
real quick? We can go show some stuff from some what Bryson's been doing just off the cuff. Oh yeah, we can
Yeah,
talk about
here's
golf.
here's your golf thing right there. Yeah, but we have cappers for every sport. Obviously basketball is hitting hard right now with the playoffs.
No, and
Bryson.
I really like the way yes, I like when the cappers are posting in their channel, but I also like he's just active in the chat, just being like, "Yo, this is what I think is gonna happen next quarter. This is who we're targeting," and he's just going after it. Yeah,
That's
he's
pretty
good at
nice
these.
right there. Yeah, here's one of his nerfy parlays. 100 into 930.
Yeah,
Oh, there's my threes leader.
yeah, man, that was a good one. I don't anticipate Luka doing it all again. I think he's gonna get. I don't. I know they got blown out. I don't feel like the Celtics won. I feel like the Mavericks lost.
Well, Kyrie went like 6 for 20 or 25 from the field. They weren't even guarding him from 3-point range.
I don't see it happening again this series.
I don't know what they knew, like why they knew he would miss, but he was wide open and couldn't hit anything. And
Well, I know he was doing some marketing with his dad. Like he started like a shoe brand, and he made his dad the only athlete on the shoe brand because that's what Kyrie does.
yeah, maybe
Yeah,
he's distracted or something.
he has to be.
Yeah, here's a bunch of them. He went Oilers. I mean, $1,000 on the under. That's crazy.
And he just hit it.
I know he was absolutely
Man.
sweating those last 3 innings.
Yeah. That's pretty nuts.
1,800 on Son Strickland. Yeah, we had some fight stuff from the.
And then he was getting really into WNBA. Actually, let me write that down. That's what I want to talk to him about specifically. Because there's got to be more of an edge in WNBA if you're following it like that.
There is, yeah. I know there's a subset of the WNBA betting community that tracks like the health cycles. You know what I mean? The monthly health cycles.
I mean, yeah, there's a link to the under. That is real.
Yeah, and they've done well. They've started to hide the injury report a little bit, and they'll just be out for like various stuff. But like if you track it, time over time, I guess month over month, week over week, you can start finding some trends about who will be most likely to underperform certain weeks, and it's working. I mean, I think the books are starting to catch on because there'll be some. I know there's one lady, Kalea. How do you pronounce her name? It's like Kalea Copper or Cooper. Her normal line's like 19 to 22, and then there'll be like one week of the month. Her line's like down to 11 to 13. So they're starting to catch on, but it's definitely not, fully optimized yet. Sort of. So there's definitely edges to be had.
No, most def. We also have quite a few futures going on these finals. I just remembered. I know Johnny's got the Mavs.
Are they posted anywhere? Are they in the futures thing?
I'm looking. I think they're in the NBA chat. I think I want to say it was plus 1,600 he took him at. But he already won on them because he took them to win the Western Conference and then to win the finals. Man, it's a good bet. That field of teams there. But yeah, I do expect them to bounce back. And they're going to be like plus 225 on Sunday, the Mavericks. Like
Really?
I can't see them having another showing like that, and the value is going to be too much. I'll 100% be betting them tomorrow. And the Celtics also lost the second game in both their first two series against the Cavs and the Heat. The second game at home, they lost to both those teams after huge wins on the first game.
I mean, that's sort of the Celtics' way of playing basketball. They have those just massive letdown games out of nowhere. And my brother's a huge Celtics fan, so I hear about it all the time. He's not the biggest Jason Tatum fan. So
I mean, this will be a crazy take, but I really believe Jason Tatum isn't the best player on the Celtics. I think it's Jaylen Brown. Tatum, obviously, he's a great player, but he's not, first team All NBA superstar that everyone makes him out to be, in my opinion.
No, he doesn't even take over games.
He gets he could do everything in the game, and he's a great wing. He's quick. He just doesn't have it. Whatever that is, I feel like he doesn't have it.
The mama mentality.
Yeah. He wants to have it so bad too. He idolizes Kobe because, why wouldn't you? But
yeah, I was trying to find some of these tickets, but I don't see any of them.
Yeah, we got to be.
Here's one of the WNBA things. She finished with 7 points that game. So as long as you can start taking advantage of that.
Like we're all putting in here all the time. This guy Bry, but yeah, I don't see the series. Will be. I'm gonna bet games 3 and 4 in the NBA series based on tomorrow, and like I said, I really expect the Mavs to come back. Kyrie has to bounce back. Porzingis isn't going to start the game on fire.
Probably not.
These are live bets from Bryson, man.
Yeah, I'm always how many of these does he do though? Like he never posts in the losses.
I only go by what he's posting in the NBA chat, and he is hitting a large percentage of those. And most of them are plus money. I'm thinking he's got to be hitting over 70% of what he's posting in the chat. Now, is he taking shots on the side? Maybe. But he seems to share his most confident ones, at least, which is what we're here for. I'm all about, taking a shot on something you have, you want to see happen or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that's yeah. We've talked to him before, but I mean, I don't know. It's hard. The only way to really, I don't know if gain respect is the right word, but to gain a following is you got to consistently post things beforehand.
Oh yeah.
Or else you're always going to have those detractors and people saying, well, oh, you only post your winners and you don't show this and that. So that's why, I mean, I wish he would join Pickett, but I don't know. He just hasn't yet, which is kind of, I don't know.
Hey man, step by step, we're bringing him along.
Yeah.
He's active in the chat. That's
step one.
I love it so far.
I mean, I've tailed him quite a bit, and I've won quite a bit. So
I have absolutely one more than I've lost tailing him, and that's invaluable.
So,
But yeah,
do you
let's
want to?
see. Yeah, I
Do you
got a
want to
couple of
share your
things.
screen at all, or no?
Yeah, I'll share some stuff.
Okay, I'll stop presenting.
Let's see what I have here. Find this, present. It's just a tab. Right, so let's see. The tab pop up or no?
Yep.
There we go. So I want to get into this little win real quick. Else I'm gonna have a hard time. Where's my Taylor Pendrith? Because this one, I don't think I pumped out the article enough. I should have it right here. So usually for golf, I bet 2 to 4 outrights, and this was my lowest. Plus 7,500, my lowest chances of winning by far. He has to be one of my favorite golfers. He tends to go what I'm looking for. He's got all 3 facets of his game, but that's why I write these articles. If I could show it on our X, here we go. There's so many factors that go into these golf picks. Like, yes, all the metrics are important. You also need like some luck. That's him right there, actually. So he's one of the best putters. The first thing I was looking for is it was going to be an actual birdie fest. So you're gonna have low scores, and your play around the greens are important. I try to put emojis so I know exactly what I'm looking for when I read back in these little articles that we have. I try to put them up on X when I can. Actually, it's a decent amount of views we got on it, 7K. And also, the Texas golfers and the Florida golfers, they tend to play better in those states. I don't know if it's the humidity or the conditions. They're more comfortable. So this is basically, I try to write a little breakdown of the things that we're looking for, or like what we want to target. And exactly here, I like to pick someone from the top and the middle, and then a long shot. Just happened, Pendrith was my long shot. When I wrote it, it was 9,000, but when I got around to betting it, it was 7,500. So if you read the article and bet it right away, you actually got a plus 9,000, which is not going to happen often.
Everybody read your article and started putting money on it, pushed the price down.
Yeah, that had to be it. And I actually even doubled down on him on the top 20 bet. So you double dipped. You're getting plus 20, plus 330 on a top 20, and the guy wins outright. Like, this is exactly what we're looking for when we're betting golf. And this is a straight analytic play. Like I said, you're not going to hit these every week, but I'd say, if you get 4 or 5 winners every season's about 8-9 months, you're going to be profitable. Golf has always been my most profitable sport. It's just a grind because it's a 4-day sweat. I'm writing this article. This was I don't think the date's on here.
I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday.
It was a Wednesday. Actually, I want to. It had to say the date somewhere. I'm trying to be fully transparent. Yeah, May 1st.
May 1st. That was a Wednesday.
So that was a Wednesday. So we put this out Wednesday, and we have to see the bet through till Sunday evening. Like that's a long time to sweat something out.
Heck yeah.
So everyone likes that instant gratification. Yes, like I said, this is one of my favorite things to do. I've never even played golf. I just genuinely enjoy watching golf. And you put, $5, $10, $20, $50 on someone, you really start getting interested, Yeah, we got obviously big 20. I think it next week already. It has to be. The Memorial is this week. And then next week is going to be the US Open. So everyone and their mom's going to be trying to get in on some golf. So I'll definitely have an article out. Maybe I try and get that out Tuesday. Put out some picks and we try and replicate what we got. We'll have a little larger field. We'll have some of the live guys in there.
How do you think the live guys will do?
Depends. I got to look at the recent stats. So I usually break down their metrics based on like their recent, like the last few months, and then maybe like the last 6 months, like their midterm, and then like for the full season. So it really depends. I don't follow the live every single week, but I do update the numbers and then go back and review it. The PGA I follow every single week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have something out on that on Tuesday.
Man, that was a great hit, though.
It's great when you hit them, really. But like I said, it's more about knowing what to look for. Like we knew we were looking for a low score. We know someone's scrambling, so how they're playing around the greens, because these are going to be shorter par fives and par four. So he hit some eagles. You hit a couple eagles and you're a plus 9,000. That's going to bump you up to like plus 5,000, like on one hole. Like it has that big of an impact. And you're going to get offered really good cash outs. Sometimes what I like to do is make 2 bets. Let's say I want to bet
out and let one ride.
Yeah, man. Especially with the long shots, not necessarily like a plus 1,600, but I did that this week. I tried to double dip and I got destroyed and I lost all of it. I'll be honest, but if you make two $20 bets, maybe you're cashing out, $500, and now you have a free ride to see if your guy can actually close out the last couple days.
Yeah, takes the stress out of it.
You still feel stress. Every sweat is stressful, man. But all right, yeah. So like I said, we'll get that out Tuesday. I got the NBA. I'm gonna be on the Mavs tomorrow, man. They got to show up. Now for the NHL, Stanley Cup Final starts tonight. Let's see if I could pull up. These should be the regular season stats for these two teams. Let's see if that'll come up. Close that guy. And that one, oh yeah.
Wow, so it's going to be offense versus defense, huh? That's pretty crazy that they're dominating each side like that.
Yeah, so like I said, this is the regular season, so it looks like that. This is also the number 2 offense in the league. So it's literally the number 1 and number 2 offense. Like I said, this is the regular season, and these are the expected goals. So basically the offense you're creating. But overall, yeah, straight offense and defense. Their defense definitely something to be desired, but they have been far better in the playoffs. So I just found that very interesting as a stark contrast.
Why are they both so bad at finishing?
So it could be goalies they're playing. I think that's more of the case in the Panthers, where they're playing exceptional goalies. Oilers, their bottom half of their roster isn't finishing as well as their top half. But in the playoffs, their top half has been playing more for sure. So I'm going to go through the FanDuel page real quick because this bet's going to hit tonight.
Heck
I'd be
yeah.
surprised if it doesn't. And I'm going to be real surprised if this game doesn't go over. So both teams are coming out firing. I can't tell you who's going to win, right? Every analytic is going to tell you Panthers win this game, and minus 140 is a good price to bet them. Oilers have definitively the two best players in the series. So that's already a lot. They might have three of the best four players, but the depth absolutely belongs to the Panthers. However, like I said, these are number 1 and 2 offensive teams in the regular season. Florida was struggling their last 3 rounds. They played probably the 3 best goalies in the playoffs so far. So they want to score. They want to get out to a good start. Skinner, the goalie for the Oilers, has been amazing to get them here. He's playing above his head right now. I really think both teams come out firing. I can't see this game staying anywhere under. Like, you tell me this is like a 6-4 game, 7-5 game even. Like, I could really see it going off. Bobrovsky, the Panthers goalie, is one of the better goalies in the league. He's won goalie of the year, the Vezina Trophy twice, and he's up for it this year. He won't win it, but he's that kind of caliber goalie. But he has mental lapses. And the Oilers are the type of team that gives goalies like that, start second-guessing himself or losing confidence. This is McDavid legacy. Like, he needs this cup. He'll feel the pressure, and he's answered the pressure, specifically this year. I really like these guys. There's not a ton of goal props. I really like, if I was taking a shot on any of these goal props, I mean, Hyman just hangs out around the net. And in a regular season game, my strategy with the Oilers is you bet one or both of Draisaitl and McDavid, because usually one scores. So if you want to bet either one of these guys, I would say bet both of them, because it's very likely one of them hits at least.
For live betting, I saw someone with a $200 ticket, and they won like 18 grand for that 2-1 game last week, where I think they bet it in the second quarter for there not to be so like the bet was the next goal scorer, and it was like they bet nobody.
Oh, no one, yeah.
And so is that a strategy for the series, or are they both just too offensively powered to
for
make
this
that
series?
bet?
No.
Okay.
So like the game we're talking about, the last two, there was much better goalies. So the Panthers just beat the best goalie in the league, and like the last few games were all low scoring. Skinner, the Oilers goalie, he was an all-star. He can step up. I'm not going to bet on that. Unless you're getting some kind of crazy odds and you see the flow of the game and all of a sudden they're pulling back. But the Oilers have like 2 of the 3 best players in the sport on the team, and they can put them on the ice together at any moment. I'm not betting that at any point. Like, they just come out and they can score.
Okay.
So the Oilers haven't given up a power play goal. I don't think they gave up one in the last series at all. And I think it's been like 28 kills. And they got to be due. I really love this over. I think it should be higher even. If they don't score early, I'm gonna live bet the over 4.5. Like that's the better strategy in the playoffs, in my opinion, is to wait if you think they don't score early, and then maybe 5-10 minutes be over 4.5. Minus whatever 110, 120. That's should happen here. Should come out. They both want to put on a show. McDavid legacy. If you want to bet a winner, it's hard not to bet Florida. Full disclosure, I do have a future on the Oilers. Took in September of 2023. So talking about golf being a long sweat. That's quite the long sweat.
That's the season-long sweat right there.
Yeah, that's preseason. I don't even think they were in I guess they were in training camp. But yeah, I mean that's really all I have for tonight.
Okay.
This series be very telling. I expect some goals. I could see either team winning, but the quote unquote smart play is to bet the Panthers to win.
What about an over 4.5 Oilers plus 2.5? Twosome.
What does that give you? Let me check.
Yeah, I mean, do you see the Oilers losing by 3 or more?
I don't know how they're going to play the final. So if they go down, let's say Oilers are down 4-2. How early are they pulling the goalie? Are they going to pull it with 4 minutes left? They might. They are killer on the power play, but they just you give up 1 goal, so now it's 3-goal game. They're probably going to pull the goalie again because now there's still 3.5 minutes left. This is the first year coach Oilers. He was coaching an AHL team at the beginning of the year for the Rangers, and he got hired midway through the season on the Oilers. But he is McDavid's coach from juniors, so he knows him forever.
Seemed like he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
They made the finals.
I think the last guy was doing such a bad job. That's and I do
There's
like
only up from there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, let me take a look. There is a boost on here. I don't think I'm betting anything on this boost. Let's see. Same game.
30% profit boost. Yeah, but you probably got to get it to plus 400. So.
Yeah, at that point now we're betting goal scorers.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna bet. This is probably what I would do if we're doing a boost here. McDavid 2 points. What does that even get you? That's not even going to be close enough.
Yeah. That's why I hate the boosts. They're designed to make you fail.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, this is not what I'm chasing today. And it's the first game, so I'm looking forward just to enjoying it and take it from there.
Yeah, let's see how the flow is and stuff. So.
Yeah, I expect both offense to show up for sure. And, it's the last round. This is the high stakes stuff. Hope my boys pull through for me. Yeah, it is. It is. And then we got NBA Finals. And they got US Open. Oh, man. We got this baseball every day.
Yeah.
All we need to do
is
is
spend an hour plus on baseball every day. That would just torpedo our lives if we did that.
I know. Trust me. You probably have to quit our jobs.
Yeah, just spend like hours a day just analyzing baseball. That'd be fun, but I mean, wow, that'd be a lot.
I mean, that's a dream, right?
That's what I do already.
Yeah. That's why I prefer. the golf is a little easier for me because there's one tournament. It's like cool. I can set aside like however many hours, look at all my metrics, come up what I like, and then just watch. The baseball, it's like, all right, well, let's do it again. Let's do it
And
again.
again, 162 times.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Uh,
Well, anything else you want to go over? Or?
oh man, let's just hope you get to see some of this stuff at the wedding. But I guess
Yeah, I'm
who's
gonna be
getting
there.
married?
It's my fiance's childhood best friend.
So you gotta like be good there.
Yeah, she's I dropped her off this. That's why I texted you earlier. I was dropping her off at the country club where they're getting ready at, and they had to be there like 8 o'clock and doing all the stuff. And she's not the maid of honor, but she's like second bridesmaid. I'm not sure how that works, but they're really close, and so she's been excited about this for a while.
Sounds like a nice little Alabama country club, some old Southern money.
That's exactly what it is.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
All the
Well,
stereotypes are exactly what you think.
maybe I'll crash this one. I'll head down.
Come on, I'll sneak you in there.
All right. Yeah, we'll snap some pics and have a good time. And
Appreciate
let's see how these bets go.
Yeah, I guess I'll see you in the Discord. And yeah, if anyone's watching this, come to Capper Nation. The link is always in the bio for all our social media, and we're long-term winners. So come check us out. Alrighty.
All right, man.